Hey everybody, it's me, Sabrina, Miss Fashionista, and as you could tell by the title of this video that, well, you already know what it's about. And this video obviously isn't gonna be anything like I wanted to share on my channel before. Geez. I just first want to say before starting this video that I'm proud of myself for getting my camera out, putting makeup on today, for even being able to say the words that I'm saying to the camera to post this, because this is a side that I've not necessarily been hiding, partly been hiding, but partly I didn't know what was wrong with me. But it's been 6 months that I've been going through this, that this has changed my life, and to come on this camera today, it took a lot of courage for me, honestly, because yeah, we'll just maybe go into that in the video, but going on with why this video is exactly about, it's to tell my story on my experience with anxiety and depression. And before I start, I just want to let everybody know that I'm not doing this for any reason of attention or for anything negative. So, anybody that stumbles across this video, I know mental health and depression is a controversial topic, and some people believe in it, some people don't, or some people don't maybe fully understand it, and that's not you, the viewers, or anybody's fault, because even me, I was so blind to it. From even somebody that knew that anxiety and depression existed, I still was so blind to it. So if you feel that you might have something negative to say, I would appreciate that if you wouldn't say anything, or you would just click off right now, because this video, or why I'm making this video, is for everybody that's going through what I'm going through. Maybe not exactly like it, because what I've learned with anxiety and depression is that everybody's different. So I've yet to meet somebody that's exactly like me, but I've met a couple people through my journey that have anxiety and depression, and I know it's a real thing. So, with this video, I wanted to reach out to those people that need somebody to talk to, that has a question about it, that may be going through it and doesn't even know that they're going through it. Because what I learned, first off, before I go into the details of this video, what I learned on my experience through anxiety and depression, or having those things, is that one, they're real health issues. Just because I don't have a cast that says I'm going to be out for a month, 2 months, 6 months, a year, 5 years, the world doesn't see that something's wrong. And again, that's nobody's fault. It's just the lack of attention that mental health has gotten, or with depression and anxiety in particular. So, I hope that with these videos that I can be an advocate, a role model, or maybe not a role model, because I want to, through this channel, I'm not going to be perfect, but I want to show that I'm a person that's 19 or 18, geez, I'm not even 19 yet, I'm going to turn 19 though, but that's 18 years old, that loves makeup and fashion and beauty and everything to do with, or I love being confident. I love so many things. But also I have depression and anxiety. And I've learned, and it's took me 6 months to sit here in front of the camera and say that it's okay. And that if you're going through this, you're not alone. And even if you're not, and you're just watching this to support me, then you don't know how much that means to me, and I didn't want to cry to myself. But I'm just so proud because it's been so hard to talk about this, because it's changed me in so many ways, and actually in so many good ways. But I also can't control that it's a real health issue that I go through in my day-to-day life. And again, even though I don't have a cast or I don't have anything to show that I am a little different, or I have something to show the world that, hey, I'm a little bit more sensitive to some people's comments, or I get anxiety easy, or who knows, I'm still learning. But it's very real. And that's why I've been so hesitant to show it, or I was so mad at it for all this time. Because again, it's anxiety and depression is like a death sentence that you don't know. You know, you're fine one day, and then another day, you know, you don't want to be here. And at first you think, when you first get it, that it's all me and that everything is my fault and I'm such a horrible person. Even if I haven't shown the examples of a horrible person, or someone's done something worse than me, or it doesn't matter what type of person you are, it changes you. And at first you think, when you don't go through it, because again, it's not properly educated out there, you don't know the symptoms, the signs. So when I was going through it, I just thought it's just me, and it's just what I'm thinking, and maybe it's my decisions, or I'm a horrible person, but at the end of, or no one loves me, but at the end of the day, all of those things aren't true, and I know that. Yes, I'm not perfect, and I've made mistakes, but I don't deserve those thoughts not to be here, to want to hurt myself. And that's what a major symptom of depression is, and that's what I was going through, and I didn't even know. And what even made it worse was no one else in my family knew. And again, I didn't have an example like what I hoped to be, you know, to show me that, oh, it's okay, or it's normal. Because all right now, which again, I love, is popular, is makeup and fashion, all these things, but, you know, all the taboo subjects, you know, aren't more popularly shown to the world, or I don't know how to explain it. And again, like, I get anxiety from talking because I've been isolating myself so much lately. But it's just so sad that mental health isn't properly educated, and that's why so many people take their life from it. And I think this is a perfect time to go into my story. So this is going to be obviously a lengthy video, and again, if this isn't something for you, then I recommend that you don't watch it, because all I need right now is support and positivity. And this is where my story is going to start. So if you're interested, then stick around. But if it may make you uncomfortable or something, then I would recommend to not watch. But thank you if you are, and here we go. So first off, if you just clicked on my video because maybe this is something that you're going through, I would love to introduce myself. So my name is Sabrina Alexandra Acosta. I am 18 years old. I love fashion, makeup, beauty, and I I am attending FIDM, which is a Fashion Institute of Design and Merchandising. And I guess my biggest dream in life is to be a YouTuber, be a social media influencer. And before, it was just to be a beauty influencer. But now with what's been happening, I don't want to just be that. I want to be a model for, I don't even know, a model of I don't want to say a public figure because it's not. I just want to be an example out there, for people to look to, that's going through what I'm going through. And even with this channel, that's what I want to make it about, not just fashion and beauty, but fashion, beauty, and my depression and anxiety, my journey going through this. So if that's something that you're interested in, if those 3 things, or just one of them, or 2 of them, or all of them, then I would love if you were to support me and hit that subscribe button down below. And because I want to show the good and the bad, and I want to show that it's okay to go through this and still be normal, to still be okay, because that's not so shown in the world. And even on the topic of me saying this, designer Kate Spade took her life yesterday. And, many people that when they hear that someone takes their life, the first thing that they can think is, how can they be so selfish? She had a 13-year-old daughter, But obviously what she was going through, it was a little bigger than her. And even seeing that today on the news being talked about for the first time in a long time, in my eyes at least, I haven't seen that, and I was just so proud with what I was going through that finally again, it's so sad or tragic because she was going through some form of depression or anxiety, but it beat her, and she took her life. And it's sad that someone has to take a life to show that how big it is. Even the show 13 Reasons Why, so many people just think of it as a show, like I used to last year. But watching this season, going through what I was going through, I learned that she wasn't just taking her life and being selfish. She was suffering from depression. And she could have got help if she would have just said something. And that's what the show is about, to even give people a different understanding. And that's why I guess I'm doing this. All those examples are why I'm sitting in front of the camera. And even right now, I'm going to be honest. Let's start right now. I had really bad anxiety attack before I started this video. And even talking right now, you could probably tell by the trembling in my voice that I'm getting anxiety or, from it. But again, I'm not letting it beat me. I want to be here for those people that want a voice or that want somewhere to go to, because that's what made me feel better through all of this, is hearing people's stories. And that's what even inspired me to want to make these videos and show this side of me that's been so hard to show, because even though it's scary, the one thing that helped me through this, or that started to help me or make it easier, was when someone started to understand me. And whether that was a therapist, a doctor, someone that was going through it, a video of someone that was going through it, someone else's story, that's what helped me. So I hope with these videos, if you're affected by this, that this can help you, and that this can motivate you, because this is not going to be my last video, it's just the start. because it's not going to just be about fashion and beauty. Sabrina Miss Fashionista, that's my name that I go by, is not just a fashionista. She's a fashionista that has depression and anxiety, but she doesn't let that define her either. And I think it's time for you guys to tell you my real story, because I've just been, I guess, anticipating it. But this is for real. My story, now that I've got my message out and I feel comfortable talking to the audience that I believe is still here for the right reasons, and that isn't here to spread negativity or hate or anything like that. Also, now that I'm starting to tell my story, I'm going to be looking down at my phone because I've been wanting to make this video, for the last couple months. But anxiety and depression started to control me, where I didn't want to do any of the things that I love to do anymore, first of all. And I'll go into depth with my story with that. But I've been wanting to do this, so I've had a list of notes that go on and on and on, and I've tried to organize them, but I just realized that it's easier to just kind of say it how it is, and this is a little guide just to remind me, so I don't forget some points that I wanted to mention. But today I felt ready. And also I just wanted to finally be honest and open about it, especially with the coming out of Kate Spade and her suicide. You know, I thought it was perfect time that I needed to say something, because I don't want anybody else that is suffering through mental health to take their life, because it gets better if you just reach out for help. And I know that sounds so cliché and cliche, but it does. And coming from an 18-year-old that was a normal girl before, maybe that's a little bit easier to hear than from a teacher, from your parent, from an adult, from a guidance counselor, from a video about depression from a 40-year-old man. To be honest, like, there was someone that I watched, but he really helped me, but he was 40 years old. But the point is, I haven't found anybody exactly like me. And that's why I feel like this is God's plan for me, that maybe I have anxiety and depression because it was His plan to make me stronger, and I have to get through this. And trust me being so honest or positive about this right now, this is a reason why I haven't said anything till now for 6 months, because that wasn't the case. But I'm just gonna get into it, because this is gonna be a long video, first of all, but I'm just gonna get into it. So, this is my anxiety and depression story. So, I started to notice a change about November, December, that I started to get anxiety attacks. But maybe I've gotten two, so I didn't take it serious, and I was just feeling like I needed to make a change in my life, and I wasn't doing so. And also, I just was starting out my first quarter in college. I just moved to LA to attend SYMPTOM. I just was experiencing my first time living away from home, and I thought I was ready for it. Growing up, I was always the person that knew what they wanted to do, and even from an early age, my freshman year, and even that first video, if you go back, if you haven't watched any of my videos before, even taking time to watch the first video on here, that was the girl that I was before. And I'll reiterate, I'll summarize that video. But I was the girl that knew she was going to go to SYMPTOM since her freshman year, and by her junior year, she applied and was accepted early. And by her senior year, she got $8,000 in scholarships to go to that school, because she couldn't financially afford it all by herself, and with the help of her parents and, of course, loans like any other kid nowadays has, or it's young adult, not a kid. You know, I was able to go, and I made that dream possible, and even to have money to move down there was a blessing. And I thought I was ready for the world. And it wasn't bad in the beginning. I enjoyed it. I loved the person that I was becoming. And again, I aspired to be a social media influencer for fashion and beauty, and now depression and anxiety, because I love it. I love fashion and makeup and all of that, because that's who makes me, and I'm passionate about that, and that's what I wanted to do. And in LA, that's what I was doing, along with SYMPTOM, and, you know, slowly school started to become a stress. And then one thing came to another, and basically, long story short, you don't know how you fall in that hole. I guess I don't have all these reasons of how I got here. But those were just some things that were going on in my life to, like, at least give you a setting of where I was at that time. Also, I was in a not the best relationship, and all of those factors, you know, that's what started to get me down. School, moving, being overwhelmed, being stressed, everything was starting to be new. But again, I've gone through things, and I will share more about myself throughout this channel, but I've gone through things, and I've gotten through them, and I've considered myself a pretty strong person up until this point that I was like, why can't I shake this off? I knew college was going to be hard. I knew life was going to be hard. Like, this transition from high school to college was going to be hard, but I didn't think it was literally going to, you know, drive me into a depression or anxiety. But again, it didn't. I just started to go through that without realizing it. And fast forward, by January, I felt like something was wrong, but I didn't know exactly what. I just thought, I just need to change, and that's it. But again, I didn't know I was suffering through actually a mental condition, and it was harder. But again, I was only a month or two. Like, I just thought, like, I've been through breakups, I've been through my parents' divorce, I've been through things that have lasted longer than this. I can get through it. But it wasn't that easy. Fast forwarding to February, I've driven myself to a point of guilt that I shouldn't be here anymore. That everything that I was going through was in my head, and I was such a horrible person. And I got to a point where I started to act out in ways that weren't even me, because I didn't even care what it took to become happy. I was so tired of those thoughts of not wanting to be here and being so unhappy. I took the wrong approach, and it led me to a decision of when I was finally alone, because that was my trigger, was being alone, that I just had to get out and distract myself, and that I didn't want to get help. I just thought, if I'm not alone and not thinking about it, then it'll be okay, or it'll go away. But that's the problem. It got so bad that I couldn't be alone. And in that time, I was so stressed out about a class, and I was going through a little breakup or a road bump with that person, and I just thought, you know, like, that's it, like, I'm just gonna do anything to be happy. But finally, after that week was done and I was alone, I drove myself crazy, and I got to a point where I slit my wrist. And I've thought about it. Everyone's thought about it, probably, and not even in a way like I'm saying everyone has to think about it, but everyone's at least can relate to getting into a point into their life where they felt so bad that they thought maybe that it would be better off if they weren't here. And that's where I got to. But I was scared to do that, because that was the first time that thought was that powerful. So I thought, okay, let me step one. Let me cut my wrist and see how it feels, because I've never done this before. But again, that wasn't me. That wasn't who I was. I just thought I was being weak, though. That's why I'm talking about this, because that's what depression does to you, is it thinks that you're weak, but that's just a symptom. But luckily, when I did that and I saw the blood coming from my wrist, I knew that it wasn't right. And I called someone that's close in my life to me. And he came over. And then I called my roommates. And I knew I needed to get help. Because what I was really afraid of that night from taking my life, to be honest, was that I wasn't going to succeed. And that in that attempt to not succeed, I would ruin my life. And people would just think I was selfish. But I was just going through depression and anxiety. But I didn't even know that. So how can I expect the world to know that? So that was why I didn't do it. And I knew that would just hurt everybody around me. But again, that still didn't motivate me enough to not even put that blade in my wrist in the first place. But seeing that blood, that's at least what took me an eye-opener, that I don't want to go through this. This isn't the route I want to take. So I got help and I reached out to my parents the next morning, and that was a start. And I thought I was feeling better. And it wasn't all hard. I mean, it wasn't all easy. Like, I'm not going to go in the nitty-gritty of it because that's just my personal, private things. But it was hard for my family and even myself. And again, around March now, I moved back home. From that experience, I knew that I needed to take a break from school, and I took a medical leave from SYMPTOM. And I moved back in about a week, and literally the next day, though, from that happening, my parents picked me up once I told them, and I stayed in my house. And from that moment, then my life changed forever. But I moved that week later, and I took a medical leave from school. And I at least thought starting my process, because I thought, okay, I know I have depression now or anxiety because later, I knew that one of my roommates that night told me a story that she was actually going through it. And that's how I knew that something was wrong with me and I needed to get help and say something. So I know you're probably watching this and you know who you are. Actually, a couple people that night showed me that it was okay and that I can get help. And that's what I did, and without them I wouldn't have been here today, and I maybe would have kept it hidden. So I just wanted to go back and say that important part that I kind of forgot. But fast forwarding of being home and wanting it to be better and trying to cure myself. I eventually went to a doctor. There's so many stories within this 6-month journey, and again, if with your guys' suggestions and requests, leave them down or private messages, through my social media links that I'll have linked down below. You guys can let me know what you guys want to hear. But I ended up in a crisis center here in the high desert, and that was eye-opener that I needed to take medicine, because I got the help from my parents, but there was another step, and I was on medication, Abilify and Zola for depression and anxiety, and at the time possible bipolar disorder 1. That's what they thought. And that was a horrible experience. Oh my gosh. That medication did something horrible to my body, and those pills was so horrible. But I got through them the first week that those symptoms hit. It just feels like you have the flu. It's just so horrible. But, with all of this progress that I was making, that my parents were understanding that everything was going to be okay, that I was going to be able to go back to school because I was on a medical leave in a certain amount of time, I thought that at first that maybe it was going to take 3 months because I was going to move back to LA in the summer. And that's all the time I needed to get better. So I started to take the medication, but then it started to have that negative effect. And then that made me think, maybe I don't have anxiety and depression. Like, I don't feel that way anymore now that I moved back. Now that I'm not in that situation in LA anymore. Now that I'm not going to school. Now that I'm not having this, all these reasons that I thought, caused that anxiety and depression at the time. Those are not happening, and I'm in a much better place. I should stop taking that medication, and, I should just be normal and live the life that I want to live. Maybe I just had a mental breakdown, or maybe I just, it's not anxiety and depression though, because I don't feel that way anymore. Again, that was anxiety and depression. It was saying my depression goes through stages. And I was having a really good stage, and I was okay for a while. And that's when I started my YouTube, because that's when I started. And that's when I started making these videos, and I started to grow more on my Instagram, and I wanted to be that beauty and social media and fashion influencer. But I was going through more. And even at that time I got a job. And I thought I was ready for a job. Again, I thought I was ready to give back into my everyday life, and even my parents thought that I didn't have anxiety and depression because they weren't even properly educated about it. So they even allowed me to get off my medication and do that, because we all weren't properly educated about it. Or again, you hear horror stories of don't go on medication, just go to therapy or do this. It's a real medical condition. And that's what I'm mistaken. So I was just being normal, and I was on the plan of going back to FITM and moving back to LA, and I thought and I was just on my YouTube and being so positive, but slowly again, I can't explain what happened, but I got back in that dark hole, little by little, the month of April, from the beginning to the end. I went through depression again, the slow stages of it. Not really noticing. Again, Sabrina, just change these things and you'll be better. And then one day I went through it really bad towards the end of April, where those thoughts were coming back again. But I couldn't tell my family. I was just moving back to LA. I was just getting my life back. How was I going to ruin that for myself? Because depression and anxiety has held me back 2 quarters in school, winter and spring. It's held me back 2 quarters. I wasn't going to let me hold me back more. How was I going to tell them? Then I confided in someone close in my life, but that didn't understand either, and I was putting the pressure on him. And I was then thinking, why isn't he understanding? And that just made it worse. I didn't do the proper steps I needed to do to control that. So I stayed up all night, because that's what anxiety does. And I stayed up all night crying and crying, fighting that pain, because I know I have a problem, but I didn't want to say anything because it wasn't supposed to happen again. I thought it went away and it was done, and no. So 5 in the morning, I finally get a little sleepy, very little, and I start to fall asleep. And then I get a call about 6 in the morning, 7. And the first thing, and I'm mad because it's an unknown number, and I'm like, why? So I just barely fell asleep. And I answered the phone call, and it was a doctor's office that I called 2 months back when I was first going through anxiety, depression. I wanted to get help. Well, when I first thought I was going through it, at least, and I wanted to get help. And at the time when I called 2 months back, they didn't have availability. And again, you would think that a mental health system, it's so bad. Like, if you need immediate help, why would it take almost 2 months for an opening to come up? But that's what happened. And that day, I got woken up by that call. Again, I was so tired. I could have missed that call. My phone's on vibrate. But I answered that call. And that was the behavioral health center for the appointment that I called to see the psychiatrist, to see if anything was wrong with me. And they called me, and I had work that day, and again I was like, I can't miss work. But they said that today's the only appointment that they have. I asked, is there another one? because I secretly knew I was going through what I was going through, but I didn't want to say anything to the people I needed to say something to. I was saying it to the wrong people. Maybe not the wrong people, but they just couldn't realistically give me the hope that it can give me. And when they called me, they were like, nope, today's the only appointment. Again, when does a doctor's office call you that today's the only appointment? It's usually like in a week, in 2 weeks, in a day, we have an appointment, but not that day. And they wouldn't have one again till June, till now. Geez, imagine if I waited and I chose to go to work. That was, you know, first of all, God's message that I needed help from a doctor. And I somehow got the strength to go to my stepmom that I was hiding it from and tell her this. And she went with me, and that was the start of it. And the doctor did say that I have symptoms of, or I have severe depression. And I'm learning anxiety. And again, it hasn't been easy, but I'm still on the medication, and it's been about 3 weeks since I got that call and I started to change, or wanting that change. And again, it hasn't been easy. Even when I reached out to my stepmom and went to that appointment, again, my parents' view, not to their own, it wasn't their fault, but it just, they didn't know how serious it was, so they didn't know the proper things to say, or anybody in my life at that point, not just my parents, my friends, and I decided to isolate myself. And that's even the reason of the change that I'm going to explain that I'm going through, that I decided to isolate myself because no one could understand me, but that was dangerous for me. But again, during those couple of weeks, even though I got help, it still wasn't as easy as, you know, your parents just understand. Even myself, you know, then I went back, I went to therapy before that appointment. I was going to therapy for 2 weeks, but I was even still hiding my problem because, again, even therapy can't work until you do the things that the therapist wants you to do to get better. But the first step to healing is accepting that you have a problem, and that's the thing that I wasn't doing in these past 5 months before, in May to now. I've accepted that I have anxiety and depression, and before it was so negative, and I'm going to go back to that because I'm not at that stage right now in the sense that I feel guilt that I have it, but I was. And these are the thoughts that I wrote, and I want to share them because you may be watching this video and you're at that point where you're going through the bad and you can't even see anything that I'm saying. It's okay, and that's why I wrote this a long time ago when I was going through the bad at night. And this is what you feel. Geez, looking at these even brings back feelings right now. I'm just going to say a couple of these things because I can make a separate video. I just wanted to tell my story. But a couple of these things where it changed me for almost half a year. I grew oh my gosh, I can't even talk. I grew so insecure with the things that I started to feel. Speaking up still isn't making it better because no one knows how to deal with me. I don't know how to control these thoughts. I'm not wanting attention. Why am I going through this? I can't control these thoughts. My depression stems from what makes me... I know what this thought's trying to say, and I'm going to explain it. My depression, the thing that happened with my depression, even when I started to admit that I have an issue, why I started to not get better was because I still didn't fully know. And the thing that made my depression worse was even the people around me didn't fully know. That any negative comment, any negative thing, I would just take it so to heart. Anything on TV, any little thing influenced me so much. And I thought, this isn't normal. But that's what would trigger my depression now. And it was that lack of not understanding, of not no one understanding. But again, through these past couple of weeks, even through past couple of days, last week to be honest, I finally made a breakthrough with my family to even start to feel better, to get the help that I needed to get. For them to start even realizing that they need to be a little more sensitive to me, because I can't control the thoughts that I get. And that's even where the medicine comes in. And the research that I've done, and with going to the, my doctors that I'm seeing and stuff, that's why even it was so scary to even start taking medication because of those stigmas, or medication makes it worse, or, all of those horror stories for medication. And that's what even didn't want me to start taking it, because of that stigma out there in the world. Or again, I'm going to have to start taking this to be me. Again, that's what stems your depression. This isn't me then, this is the pills. But again, that's I know I've accepted it. So I know that taking the medication is just what I have to do to get better. And I've seen the change in the last 3 weeks in the sense of my depression. But honestly, yesterday I got a bad episode and I couldn't snap out of it. And if you've seen me on my Instagram and story, that's why I didn't even post anything positive or anything on my, nothing. Because I was, when I just, started posting positive things 3 days ago, one day I went without it because, again, I couldn't control my feelings that day. But through me being blessed with the greatest parents in the world, my stepmom and my dad, and even some of the people around me, they've made me realize that it's okay. And that's why with these videos, I hope that maybe the world, this is my introduction, I guess, to the world, because that's why I've been isolating myself. I haven't been wanting to post, because I can't control that. That's a symptom of depression, is that you lose your interest in things. And even now, to be honest, because I'm starting now, putting this makeup on today. The way that I used to do it before, I didn't even feel myself. I got anxiety from it. And I can't sit here and say this is why and this is why. Because a year ago, I didn't get anxiety from picking up a makeup brush and putting makeup on. But I did right now to do this video. And again, this is not the end. I don't have this story doesn't end with and this is it, And I'm cured, and in 6 months, no, I'm going through this. And, through my parents helping me and supporting me, through the couple people in my life that I have that are supporting me, and through you guys, the people that have reached out to me that are supporting me, or that even the feedback that I hope to get from this video from people out there, that are going through what I'm going through, that helps me. And even far more before that, the Lord, God, Jesus Christ, going back to church, that helped me. Even just want to become a better person, to do the steps that I need to do to face my anxiety and depression. But again, I'm not perfect, and I'm still me though, and I'm still me. And putting on makeup, I still want to be able to do and not get anxiety from it, and taking makeup pictures and fashion pictures and making all these videos that I used to love to make. I still want to do that and not get anxiety from it. So all of these things right now that are helping me in my life are making me so positive. But I know I'm still going to have bad days, so I don't want to come here and say that I'm this, and if you do this and this, you're going to feel like me, because, again, I just went through an anxiety attack right before I planned to film this video, but I couldn't control that anxiety attack. It stemmed from something, and again, this video is going to be way too long, and that could be saved for a separate video. But of where my anxiety comes from, or, again, that's even a video idea, But I can't control that, and that's even what made me uncomfortable. Again, filming, as you could tell, is probably making me very uncomfortable right now. Before, I used to look at my viewfinder, I think that's what it's called, or the monitor, not a viewfinder, it's a monitor. I used to look at my monitor all the time because I used to, like, again, just, okay, do I look okay? You know, is my makeup okay? Is my hair? But now, I haven't looked at that, because I'm just, maybe until right now, but I'm so conscious about that. That's not what I worry about anymore. It's my anxiety and my depression. There's bigger issues, you know? And that's where I want to introduce this, you know, the new Sabrina Miss Fashionista. Oh, and even with my hair, that's not, even yesterday, this was just a change of yesterday. In my bad day, that I needed some confidence. And in my bad day, I went to get a haircut. So even, you know, really the new me, you know, along with the new journey, sticking to being true to myself, but then yet having, you know, my spiritual journey with God and anything that helps me in the universe, my parents, everything, that's what's helping me. But I was just right now, I'm not being honest, I just got a bad anxiety attack. I had to call my dad for it because no one's home. But it's okay, and again, I'm realizing that in this video I maybe can't address everything I want to address because that'll be a all-day video. But if you're interested, or if you're going through this, if you just want to support me, that would mean the world to me. Because you know, even this message could be shared, and what I want to do with this is just show people that it's okay to have what you have. If you have any type of mental disorder, it doesn't even have to be anxiety and depression. I am here to not only watch my videos, but to talk to. And that's where, that it's okay that if you're going through any mental disorder, because it doesn't just have to be anxiety and depression, because that's what this message is for. You know, if you support me, then it would mean a lot if you would just share this message. Because that's what I want to do, is I want to use this platform, even if it's just a little platform that only 5 people that message me all the time that I post videos, you know, those 5 people, I want to turn these 5 people into 10, 20 more people, because I want to show them that it's okay, and that me being an adult, or maybe things that, you know, or talking to a guidance counselor, those things in school aren't enough, that maybe just someone like me that has a social media platform, that has a little bit of a following, or that wants to start not only as a fashion and beauty influencer, but that has depression, anxiety, I want to show that. That's what this video is about. So again, it would mean the world if, even if you aren't going through this, but if you would just share and support this, to get this message out for people that want a voice, or that want to face for mental health, from an 18-year-old girl that loves fashion and makeup, and that goes to FITM, and that there's so much more to know about me. You can't know about me all right now. But, you know, that's what this video is for. And, you know, my plan also too is to do daily vlogs to show you guys my daily struggles. Or my daily, because not every day is a struggle. That's the thing with depression. You're not always sad, and that's what people think. Well, you don't have depression because you haven't been sad for a week straight. You had a good day and a bad. No. You know, again, I will even make videos to educate people, and that's what I want to do. Educate people and show people, you know, that what I go through, my day-to-day life, not just preach it every day. I want to show people in vlogs. That's what I want to do. So if you're interested in that, then I would please ask if you would subscribe to my channel, because this is a safe place. My channel, I want it to be a safe place. That if it's depression, anxiety, any mental illness, anything, you know, because that's not, I just don't know I know a lot of stuff, you know, it's not just, I only know things about makeup and fashion and depression and anxiety, no. I'm an 18-year-old girl, and if you know me, you know, then, you know, I'm a regular girl, and I have advice for everything. And maybe, again, I'm not the perfect candidate that I'm, again, in 6 months, I'm fixed. No, I'm still going through it, and I don't know how long that my mental cast is going to be on. But then again, I can't figure that out, and I can't worry here about that. I can only pray for that strength, for that joy, you know, to fight through what I'm fighting through, to not let it beat me. Because if it let it beat me, I wouldn't be sitting here making this video that I hope is gonna help somebody. So Sabrina Miss Fashionista, it isn't just, you know, makeup and fashion anymore. I have depression and anxiety. And I may just look like a normal 18-year-old girl. It's been through a lot maybe. But I have depression and anxiety. And it's okay. So if you want to be here on this journey with me, that would mean the world to me, because I'm not even just making this because I feel like the world needs to hear me. Not just that. But I'm making this video because it helps me out. This is part of my healing. That, you know, maybe my bestest friend, that maybe my stepmom, maybe my dad, maybe my other friends, maybe, you know, all of those people can't understand what I'm going through because they don't have what I'm going through. But talking to a camera, you know, and I hope the audience is someone that's going through depression and anxiety, that makes me feel good because they possibly know what I'm going through or understand it. So you guys make me feel better. There's positivity and support that I've even been getting by starting to, you know, if you follow me on my Instagram, but if you follow me, that you've been seeing I've been putting positivity, and that support's been the support that I've been getting from mentioning the tidbits that I've been showing that I've been going through something but didn't announce it till now. I've been getting so much positivity, and I thank you guys for that. So this is why I'm also doing this. It's not maybe just to spread, like, this is my healing. This is my help, because I originally started to make fashion and beauty videos because that was my distraction from the world, from anything that I was going on in my life. That was my passion. I've always loved fashion since I was a little girl. And then when I learned about FITM, I was like, oh my gosh, I don't just have to be a designer. There's a whole world of in the fashion industry of careers, and I just found my love. And I knew that, you know, that's why I wanted to start my YouTube, but I always struggled in it. And when I started 2 months ago, when I came back, I was going through it, but I didn't know I was going through it because I ignored it again. When I came back and I thought, oh, I'm going through it, I had an epiphany that after taking medication that made me felt sick, that I didn't need it. But I needed it. And I wish I even maybe would have stuck through, because it would have maybe even got to this point sooner. But everything happens for a reason, and maybe I needed to go through these 6 months to even get to the point that I'm getting to feel comfortable, because I've been wanting to make this video from the beginning, trust me. But I knew that I wasn't ready for what the world had to say, or their comments, or the feedback, or I didn't even understand it. So I'm glad I waited these 6 months. And I'm at a better place, that I still experience my lows, but I could still spread positivity, or I see the good, and I know that God has a bigger plan for me, or that the universe has a bigger plan for me. Because if you don't believe in God, then I understand and I respect that. The universe, God, just the higher power has a bigger plan for me. And you know, I've even developed anxiety. Again, it changes. I don't want to film fashion or makeup videos, but this is what I want to film, so this is part of my healing. So I thank you guys for letting me do this. But again, I'm not saying that fashion or makeup videos won't be here. They just, you know, when I feel like it, and that's what this journey is about. And I don't want to just show the good, I want to show the bad, if there is bad that comes, you know, through this process, which there is, because I just experienced it. You know, even no matter how much I believe that everything's gonna be okay, I can't control, you know, what's going on, and only the medicine can, and sticking on that plan, and my therapy can, you know. But at least having a positive mindset through it is what's helping me. And talking to the camera right now is what's helping me. And also too, I was saying that I formed a sense of, I guess, going through changes that I can't control, you know. That's with my speech. That's even when I'm starting to like write or type, I start to get that, and I don't know why, but I'm gonna tell my doctors about it. Again, it's for maybe isolating myself too, because I knew that the world, again, oh, what's wrong? Why did you stop going to school? Why did you stop working? Why didn't you quit your job? Why? You can't just say, oh, I have anxiety and severe major anxiety and depression, or depression and anxiety, and I couldn't do those things anymore. People would be like, oh, this girl's crazy. They'd probably talk shit about me after, to be honest. But if I were to be like, I was diagnosed with cancer or something bigger, you know, oh my gosh, I pray for you, I'm so, you know, I'm sorry. But that's not the case with mental health. So this is even, you know, my coming out video, I guess you could say, that I needed to make, that I just didn't want to post on a little post or on a story. This is a bigger message that's not going to only help me, but I hope that it's going to fall in the hands or the eye, or fall. This video is going to fall in the hands of the right viewers, and they're going to watch it, and it's going to help them. So, again, thank you for watching this video, and thank you for letting me be me and announce what I have to announce, or say what I have to say. It's not a big announcement, it's just say what I have to say and tell my story. And I want to get more in depth, you know, in it. I'll make these videos, because honestly, I don't start school, and at least until next month, and I'm not working right now due to my depression and anxiety, that I can't control it right now at times. So, you know, I want to commit to this, and even when I start school though, or, you know, I still want to commit to this, and I want to make this a part of my everyday life, if that's what's going to help me and help you guys that are going through this, or going through any type of mental health or any type of issue. My channel is not just for people that also just, have anxiety and depression, that just want some positivity, some joy, but then maybe also want to educate themselves a little bit on mental health, because you will see that, and if you're uncomfortable by that, then maybe I'm not the person that's the perfect face for after 6 months you'll be healed. No, because I'm going through it, and I don't know when that mental cast is gonna come off. All I can do is just keep this positivity, but there'll be times when I can't though, like today, like I'm being honest. And I can't control it, but all I can do is just continue doing the things that help me heal. And if you want me to make videos about that, or any video suggestions, feel free to leave it down in the comments below. But again, I know it's not that popular, or it's not the stigma of it, you know, people are gonna judge me if I comment on her video, you know, I don't want people, no, like, you know, I understand that too, trust me, I'm not here to judge you. Even if you do think bad about me, I'm not here to be like, shame on you, it's okay. And maybe if this video even changed your view on it, that would even, oh my gosh, knowing that would even make me feel so happy. If I was even to change someone's view on depression and anxiety, that it is a real thing, it's not just something made up, that it's a real mental health condition that I have. I have major depression and anxiety, and it's okay. So if you don't feel comfortable to put that in the comments or message, then send me a message, and my social media links will be down below, and I will reach back out to you, because you are not alone, and I will understand. And again, if you aren't going through it and you just want to support me, thank you. And please share this video anywhere that you can, because I want to get this message out that having anxiety and depression is okay. And Sabrina Miss Fashionista, if you have been following me the past couple years, you know, I'm still me, but I just have anxiety and depression, and even at times when I don't feel like I'm me, or I'm changing the good things about myself through this depression that's made me realize what I have to change, you know, I'm still me, and I still want to be Sabrina Miss Fashionista, but I have anxiety and depression, and that's okay. But again, I thank you for watching, and And just please, I don't even want to, like, again, you don't have to subscribe, leave comments, like, it would mean the world, but it's not what this video is for. But if you could just share this message, that would even mean the world. But thank you. And even why I sound so sensitive is just because it is sensitive and it's hard for me. And again, I'm getting anxious, but I did it. I'm proud of myself. I finished the video that I've been trying to film or wanting to film all these months. But today was the day that I did it. And I'm proud. And again, I'm just getting uncomfortable now, but thank you. I love you guys so much, and thank you for all the support. But if you don't, it's okay. You know, but thank you if you guys have supported me this far. I love you guys, and please leave me suggestions. It's just the beginning. I will be back for hopefully daily videos, you know, definitely more than once a week. Thank you guys. I love you. Bye.